Fans doing something I haven't done in a while, which is really just an equipment overview, giving my thoughts on a piece of brand new equipment. So this week we have new to global the Rune staff. I'm going to go through what I think about it. And spoiler alert, it's actually not very good at all. I think this is a terrible staff. I saw Diggs put out a video saying, worst staff ever, question mark, and I thought about it, and it actually might be. It's pretty close to being one of the worst, and I'll tell you exactly why. So, if you look at the actual build itself, what this staff does that's unique to it compared to the others is the healing power of 15. Now, what that does is affect the modifier of the strength of your curative spell for whoever's casting this. And where do you get into the math of this on exactly how impactful this is? Now, if you're thinking about where this should go on, now, number one, it should go primarily and only on your dedicated supports. Any characters that have AI that's aggressive in terms of magic damage will not want to have this on, even if they have healing potential. Someone like Black Rosalina obviously can heal in niche circumstances, but her AI does not prioritize it. This is a terrible staff for her. It's a damage nerf and will do nothing good for her. But for dedicated healers like Yuna, Ayaka, Velas, Leela, Eldyra, this actually could be a good staff if the healing power was a little more impactful. And there's two main differentiators here that really make this not that special in my opinion. Number one, the magic stat that you can achieve on this at most is 156, and quite frankly, that's not all that high compared to what a lot of the other staffs can potentially do. So even on the other builds, 109 and 124, relatively average. Now the second thing here is the healing power of 15. Where this is genuinely not great, unfortunately, is that one of the passives that you can put on your trust stones when it's a UR rated trust stone and you get the highest roll of it, is healing power 10. Now the thing about trust stone passives is that they do not stack with what we've titled these box effects, because they're in a box on the bottom. That if you have healing power 10 on your trust stone, it will not stack with this. Which begs the question, well, what's the difference between healing power 15 and healing power 10? I'm going to go through that exactly in a second here. But to me, if you were to say, Will, like, what's the point of this staff then if it's really not that good? My opinion, this staff is really only good for new players that don't have the ability to get that UR Trust Stone and don't have the patience to roll for the healing power 10. That's really it. If you have the ability to do that, this staff will never have any real benefit for you. So if we get into the multiplier math of exactly what healing power 10 or 15 means, I'm going to go very high level at exactly how it works in the game. So number one, we're going to take a spell like Curaga, which has a multiplier of 210 on it, and you have to pick a magic stat. Healing spells scale directly off your magic stat, so we're assuming someone here has 1400 magic. What you do is you take that 1400, you multiply it by the multiplier of 2.1, and then there's a third part of the equation where the faith gets taken into account. So your healers are typically 97 faith, and that's important because it's a big part of how much healing they do. But the target faith is also taken into account. So if it's a 50 faith unit, the extra last thing you multiply by here is 1.47. You effectively add these two together. If it's 97 faith, that multiplier gets increased. So you do more healing on other units who are 97 faith, and it gives you the total healing number. So if we run some just general numbers using our 1400 base heal here, what healing power up means is that if you had healing power of 15, this 2.1, you would essentially add 0.15 to it. So instead of 2.1, it's 2.25. That's what healing power is, so it makes the multiplier larger. So if you're looking at what the effectiveness of what that really means, if you had a unit with 50 faith, 15 healing power, which is what the rod does, using that same scenario, would do 4630 healing on a 50 faith unit and 6111 on a 97 faith unit. But pretty good numbers if you had the 15 healing power. Now, if you had the 10 healing power from the Trust Stone passive, how much less would it be? Well, you would do 4527 and 5975, the TLDR. It's only 2% less. It's relatively meaningless in terms of actually doing a lot of extra healing, keeping the difference in someone surviving and not surviving. When you're talking about health pools that are 8,000 to 12,000 hit points high, this is nothing but a drop in the bucket. And for that reason, I have no idea why you would ever equip this rod on someone when you could just as easily put it as a passive on the Trust Stone and use a much more potent weapon to really increase their offensive output, or maybe a resistance as well. That's unfortunately the Rune staff review in a nutshell. I don't have anything really good to say about it because really and truly its effectiveness is kind of undercut by what you can get on the Trust Stone passive. And again, unless you can't get that roll, or you don't have the UR stone, or you don't have the resources to get that, then sure, this staff is a very nice way for a lot of players to get access to that same kind of healing power, but otherwise really not going to get any use. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all soon.
This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to ask the question: is Rune Staff the worst piece of gear that's ever come out in War of the Visions? let's go ahead and dig in.
All right. Yeah, I can think of like 2 staffs
Now,
already that I hardly ever use.
I don't think it's the worst piece of gear to come out in War Division.
Bro, he got me with the clickbait. Are you kidding?
Stats on staffs, it's actually pretty good. It has some good magic stats. It does have an aim version,